All right. Story time. The title is not misleading in the slightest. I'm not a big fan of Disneyland. Disney is like a company, like whatever, they're fine. But I don't like Disneyland. I'm going to tell you exactly why. I've experienced real Disney, behind the scenes Disney, okay? Not to that extreme extent, but I'll explain it a little bit better. Back when I was in high school, I did choir and I did jazz band simultaneously, if I might add. And there was this thing that we would do at the around like spring break, give or take, for both choir and jazz band. We had like a Disney trip. Basically, if us students wanted to pay for it, we could go to Disney and perform in Disneyland. Cool, right? I've gone to this Disneyland trip twice, but the first one is the big one. Okay, the first one was the one that like really did it for me. I've been in Disneyland a couple times beforehand. My parents have taken me, sure, and I went as a baby to Disney World too in Florida. Like I've been to Disneyland I've been to the Disney amusement parks a couple of times, okay, over the years. The difference, however, is that I never went as a performer. So the first time that I went, I was 17, 18, I think I was 17 years old. And it was a group of, I don't know, maybe like less than 30 of us, like 15 for choir, 15 for jazz bands, right around that ratio. We all went, we're having a blast, okay? We went for 2 days, okay? The first day was purely for us to go through the amusement park, for the rides, to do whatever we wanted with our friends at Disneyland. Awesome. That day was a lot of fun. I'm not a big fan of mascots. I really don't like mascots. I think they're terrifying, and I just won't go near any of them. And I'll see my favorite, like Winnie the Pooh. I'll see Winnie the Pooh, and I will not go near Winnie the Pooh because I hate mascots. I think they're weird. I think they're just awful, and they're scary. The second day, however, was the one that sucked. I'll tell you why. Yes, we went there as performers. We went there to perform in Disneyland, and there's a lot of those. If you've been to Disneyland, if you always see like a group of people performing, like they most likely came from a school or a college or even a high school or anything like that. There's a couple of them that are actually hired by Disney and do regular, routine, structured, scheduled performances. But if you ever see one that's kind of like weird, like, all right, these guys look like they don't really belong here, then they don't. When I went to perform with my jazz band and choir band, we went to Disneyland with like a very specific sort of Disney rhetoric that we had, that we practiced all year. For choir in particular, there was like this Disney mashup of songs that we would do. It was super cool. I mean, I kind of remember some of it just a little bit too. But when I was in choir, I sang as a bass. In jazz band, I played the drums. If you've ever gone to in Disneyland, you go to the left side, you go to like the I think it's in California Adventures, I'm not sure, but there's like that jazz music that's playing on the speakers. That one. That was the jazz music that we played. It was a lot of fun. That was probably the coolest one. That was really cool. The thing that really killed my Disneyland experience was going in behind the scenes. What I mean by that is we went to Toontown, okay? If you've ever gone to Toontown, you'll notice those green cartoony hills that kind of block off the horizon, the outside world, and make it really seem like you're inside Toontown. Okay, well, you can get behind those. You can get behind that entire area, and once you do, it just turns into industrial California. It's trippy. It's super, it's actually, it kind of destroys, it kind of like hurts you a little bit. Like, wow, that actually is all fake. Like none of like, it sucks because it's shattering the illusion. And when you're going to Disneyland, you never want the illusion to be shattered. But here we are as a bunch of high school musicians, you know. We went to the backstages of Toontown, and Toontown in particular, because apparently they have like an entire area dedicated this, to practicing music, to everything. While we were in the back of Toontown, you see all the carts, you see everybody who's performing in Disney, all the Disneyland performers, you see them, all of them backstage, like not putting on their act. And so I got to see a Cinderella and a Jasmine smoking cigarettes just next to a couple of bushes talking to each other. So that's fun. That was cool. Gets worse though. I needed to go to the bathroom, right? And what better time to try to use the bathroom than in the backstage, in the behind the scenes of Disneyland. So I tried to see if I can use the bathroom, and my music teacher said, we'll just wait a second until we get to the area that we need to get to. I'm like, all right, fine. So we get to the little like alcove, little section, like directly behind Toonland. Like you see Toonland, behind Toonland, there's an entire space dedicated for music, practicing music, playing music, all of that. It's neat. It's really cool. We actually got to meet the composer for, who we met? I actually don't know. I actually don't remember. We met some sort of composer that composed like Disney music. So he was actually going to be the one who wanted to like test our metal and see how good of musicians we are. This was for the jazz band group. So we went with both. We went choir and jazz band. Jazz band was going to go first to like get a little bit of practice in, right? How I taught myself how to play drums, I did not learn how to read music. I read music once when I learned how to play piano as a young child. And even then, barely. My good buddy of mine taught me how to play guitar. I taught myself how to play drums. I taught myself how to sing, and all that. So this Disney composer guy is asking me, all right, take it from the measure 4 and from the top, bar, I literally sat back with the massive attitude. I'm like, I got no idea what you're talking about. He asked me, like, do you know where we're at? I'm like, no. It's like, why don't you know? Like, I don't know how to read music. But I was being honest. I'm like, I have no idea how to read music. Just tell me where you want us to start. Like from the beginning of the song, from the middle of the song, almost to the end of the song, and I'll do that. Just tell me that. I'll do that. There's no problem here. What's the problem? I can't read music? Tough. Whatever. I don't care. I'm 17. I don't give a shit. Then I finally got to use the bathroom. Like, cool. I went to the bathroom. I had to look for the bathroom because they're not everywhere. And I found the bathroom and I went in, and I had to, you take a number 2. And I sit down, all right? And I'm just enjoying my time. I'm like, all right, this is cool. Outskirts of Disneyland. Oh, neat. In comes a Jafar. We all remember Jafar, right? You know how I know it was Jafar? I saw his feet. He was wearing the pointy shoes and the black and red color scheme. And with the poofy pants. So I instantly knew who it was. So I remember. He goes in the stall next to me, pulls down his trousers, and lets it rip. He destroyed that toilet. It was holy cow. He had eaten some beans, grits, and laxatives for breakfast. Literally. It was insane. It was disgusting. It was so smelly. It was gross. I have to wait for him because there's no chance in hell I'm leaving the bathroom after this guy. I have to wait till he leaves and then I can leave. Because I don't want to see what the guy looked like. At least I know it was that character and I can leave it at that. I didn't want to know what the rest of the guy looked like. So eventually he leaves and then I get up and I leave. Then a couple hours pass and we go and we sing in choir in a little section. I'm trying to remember where the section was. I think it was in Disneyland, but there's a section in Disneyland where there's a stage. It's typically empty and there's a bunch of seats everywhere and people can go up and sit and watch the performers. We played on that stage, if you happen to know where exactly that is. Choir, we sing, jazz band, we play, and then we're done. Except we go watch a live rendition of Aladdin. And I got to see the same Jasmine who was smoking a cigarette and the same Jafar who destroyed the toilet next to me. And then I saw his face. I'm like, well, I don't like it here anymore. I leaned to all my buddies. I'm like, that Jafar, he's got irritable bowel syndrome, my guy. It's insane. He destroyed the toilet next to me. No cap. And, we enjoyed the rest of our Disney day. Then we went back.